Scott here with Rafters Sports and Movies, and I'm full up with baseball today. The season's right around the corner. I got my ball cap on. I got my jersey on. I'm ready to talk some Calvin Marshall with the star of Calvin Marshall himself, and he is in the Rafters, Alex Frost. Hello, Alex.
Hey, Scott. How's it going?
It's going good. Check him out, guys. He's got his Bison's jersey on from the movie. Go ahead, do a spin for us. Let's see the back. There is Marshall number 74.
Yeah.
So that's going to lead me to my first question. Was there some significance to 74?
I think it was Honus Wagner's number. I think that's where that comes from.
Okay.
And,
So
if you notice in the movie, there's actually a quote from Honus Wagner that's written up on the wall. It's all Honus Wagner was Calvin's favorite baseball player of all time. So, yeah.
So that would track. That totally makes sense. I love little Easter eggs like that in movies that like, hold it, why is he, why is that? And then you dig down deep into it and it just makes sense.
No, I know. That was one of the really fun things about doing this movie was preparing for it by just immersing myself in baseball. I'd played when I was a kid, all the way up through high school. But to actually sit there and study, the history of it and everything to get even more knowledge of what Calvin would have, obsessive knowledge, more or less, was really, really fun.
Right, because he could rattle off some trivia that you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah, just like watching, you can learn everything from watching that Ken Burns baseball documentary. It's amazing.
Right. So how did you end up being Calvin Marshall? How did that come to pass?
It was a script that was sent to me a long time ago, and when I read it, I just responded really well to it. I thought it was a really kind of a cool play on sort of like a Rudy type story, a character who was just like determined to do as best as he possibly could, but was totally outflanked by everybody around him. Basically, I just love the idea of that story, and so getting to audition for it was really fun, actually, because I thought, hey, this specific script is actually hilarious. And especially all the supporting characters, and makes the really human element of the story come across are the relationships that everybody has with each other. And so it kind of grounds it in like this small town sort of feel. And I just love that they were able to combine those two kinds of genres together and make this like really kind of touching story about facing your future.
So you got to work with some pretty interesting characters and character actors. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to throw one at you that we haven't talked about yet. We didn't talk about backstage. You worked with Diedrich Bader, who played the softball coach buddy and co-worker.
Yeah, he was the head of the softball team that I was playing on. It's sort of like Calvin has his two lives, his professional life, which was in college and working his way up to be in the majors, and then his sort of like hometown sort of playing with the kids kind of persona, where he was on this other rec team instead. And that's where a lot of heart of the movie comes through, is actually playing for that team. It's sort of like everybody's a winner kind of thing. And so it was really fun to play around with Diedrich on that specifically, because that guy is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your whole life. And I find that hilarious, given that like the last character he was really well known for was like this despicable politician type guy on Veep, because it's just the opposite of who he is as an individual. He's just like the nicest, sweetest, most warm and caring guy, and it's just so funny. That's the thing about a lot of these comedy actors. It's just, you just put a camera on them and you let them roll, and then just come up with stuff organically all the time. And Diedrich was especially good about that, which was cool because I had known him from the Drew Carey Show and Whose Line Is It Anyway? And so to be there actually like throwing stuff back and forth between each other, it felt like a dream come true.
So Russell threw us up a question. What was it like being in a baseball movie? And Steve Zahn was also good in it. So I'll let you tee off on that after you talk about what was it like.
It was amazing because when we were down shooting this movie in Ashland, Oregon, we had as background actors and as people who were on the team, the World Series champions from the Beavers, the Southern Oregon team. So they had just won the College World Series the year before. And so every single time we went to go and do a warm up or sort of do just any sort of play or studying baseball and just like sort of seeing what we could put on camera, it was always with these guys. So they were performing at just this insanely high level, which made it a lot easier for me to look like I had no idea what I was doing when I was playing next to them. So that was great, but it also felt like you were always trying to perform better at the sport, which is not really a part of the movie. You
Right.
think, oh, I really have to be good at this. But in your mind, when you're on a team, you're like, no, I have to be good. That's what I'm doing. That's how I can get along with these guys. So it's kind of cool to have this dynamic of like wanting to be the best, even though we're kind of making fun of it by making a movie at the same time, you know?
Right, right. And also the Bisons, that's a junior college team in the
Yeah,
movie
exactly. Yeah.
as opposed to a college. So it's got a little different dynamic because in junior college you're supposed to be two and on to the next college.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's just like supposed to be a stopping place.
right, it's not supposed you don't camp out there for years. You just you
Yeah.
have a little bit of time and you move on. But your character had been there for 2 or 3 years. He had been
Yeah,
there a little
exactly.
longer than
Kind of
most.
refusing to move on, more or less.
Right. Kind of. Yeah, I like that. Kind of refusing to move on. I am where I am.
Yeah.
Um, what was it like? Okay, so Steve Zahn comes up to you. He's got this mouth full of tobacco.
Yeah.
How did you keep from him spitting that on you, or how did you keep from laughing because he looked like a cartoon character?
It was very, very hard to keep from laughing around Steve all the time. Just when he's on, when he's actually performing a character, it's one of the funniest things you could ever possibly imagine. I mean, everything that he did in the movie that was a genuine like laugh out loud moment was something he just came up with on the spot. He was such a funny guy. And what else was interesting about him was that he was constantly playing PlayStation games while we were filming. Like anytime he would be like, oh, I need 5 minutes, he was in his trailer playing a PS1 game on this tiny TV just to relax.
Oh wow!
But he had been practicing this character, practicing this speech and everything for longer than I had. When I signed on to the project, he was already on board for a couple of years. That's the other really cool thing about this movie is I kind of got to see how independent films can come together with sort of the help of everybody who loves the script. Because this wasn't a huge payday for him at the time. It wasn't something that was going to be like was going to have billboards all around the world or anything like that. But he believed in the script so much and in his character specifically that he volunteered. He was like, you're shopping this movie around. I want to help you get it made because I love this character and I love what this can do in the world. And I think that's a really cool, it's a really cool way to put a movie together. You know, it's like doing somebody a favor because you really believe in what they have. And
Right.
and that's how this movie came to be. Because without him, we wouldn't have gotten Diedrich Bader. We wouldn't have gotten Jane Addams. You know, like everybody came onto the project because of his interest in it and his performance.
Right. I think the interesting part about this movie is you really have a couple of different arcs in the movie. Yours,
Mm-hmm.
of course, is the main arc, and it's a coming of age, accepting your destiny, or trying to seek a different destiny. You can
Yeah,
spin that a couple of different ways. But then the coach has his own arc, and his is almost a redemption arc
absolutely.
because he comes to grips with his own failures
Yeah,
and then comes to grips that he needs to help you in a way that he can help you
which
as
is
opposed to just being a jerk to you, which is what he had been, previous years, as we
right.
learned.
But what makes that so funny is like, you know, the thing he needs to do is to turn me down and to send me on my way and tell me I'm never going to make it in baseball.
Right. And to give you the okay that it's okay,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
that
No,
it's
I
okay.
loved his character arc too. It was a really beautiful thing. Him like coming to grips with who he was and the fact that he wasn't moving on from what he was doing. And also just his love of Calvin as a person and as a driving force in sports. I mean, that's like the coolest thing in the world because you got this guy who's he's like a mean coach and he's kind of a dick and he always says the wrong thing or he's been bad to other people. But the reason why he keeps Calvin on is because he knows that his fighting spirit, his love of the game itself, is the thing he most closely identifies with, and the thing he thinks is most missing from sports. You know?
So in reality, I kind of see his character as he wants to be like Calvin. He
Yeah.
sees Calvin as a good. There's some value to that, and I
Yeah.
want to. So I think he grounds him. Calvin grounds him, or it's his yin to his yang kind of
Yeah.
thing, where he's the jerk and Calvin's the calming force. Because Calvin ends up helping the stupid pitcher that
Hmm.
just is a wild man, and you're the one that leveled him out and got him straight. Like, hey, we're here to play baseball, and college is
Hmm.
fun, but that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that's not.
Calvin was the one who was dragging everybody to practice and making sure everybody was showing up on time.
Yeah, it's almost like you're driving the mystery machine. Come on, Fred. Come on, Velma. Come on, Scooby. Let's go. Let's go. Solve a mystery. You're the one driving the mystery machine, getting everybody to where they're going.
Yeah, exactly.
Love me some Scooby Doo, but I wish they'd stop remaking it because it was
Oh, I
fun the
know.
way it was.
Yeah, I grew up
Um,
in that.
so, congratulations on being in the movie and winning at a Eugene International Film Festival. It won the Best Feature by a Northwest filmmaker.
Yeah,
So,
it's really cool. The movie was really well honored in Oregon as well. If you go up to Portland in the international airport, they have a screening room actually that shows specifically films that are from Oregon, and Calvin Marshall's one of them.
oh wow.
Yeah, so if you're on a layover and you're stuck at PDX, you can actually check the movie out if you want to.
Okay, so for everybody that hasn't seen it, go fly to Oregon. You can watch it for free in the airport,
In the airport.
or you can stream it for free like I did.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Because it's out there. I don't know. I'm very hesitant to watch movies on an airplane now because they scrub so much. I got to go back and watch it again because you don't want to watch something that's on an airplane in the first place.
No, of course not.
But then they scrub it for you. You don't have to scrub it yourself. And so I've had to go back and watch numerous movies over again because I watched one of them. I watched was it Old School, where the kids they go back to school and they create their own fraternity? Is that the one?
Yeah, that's Old School.
That is nothing. If you watched it in the theaters, that's not what you get on the airplane at all.
No, absolutely not.
At all. So your love interest in the movie is Michelle Lombardo.
Yes.
And she plays Tori Jensen, and she's like this superstar volleyball player.
Yeah, exactly.
And she knows all along she's moving on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
her arc is much more about being in reality and facing everything that she's just doing everything honestly. She's not putting it on any kind of character or anything like that. In fact, the only character that she would be playing is to be into Calvin in the first place romantically. He wants her so bad, but she doesn't want to give him a chance because she's got too much going on in her life. It was really cool to work with Michelle. She was a total professional and really smart girl. And she had played volleyball as well. So, when she's actually playing in there, she really is that good.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was really fun.
I always like to have a movie within a movie like that, a sport, and then another sport pops up. Oh, look, bonus. I get more than one sport.
That's true. We'll get that.
We're all about the sports here at the channel. So if it's in a movie, Teen Wolf, that's a basketball movie. That's not a coming of age movie. That's a basketball movie. It's a basketball movie. So and The Blob, that's a football movie because at the beginning they're playing football at the beginning of the movie before they get blobbed up. So it's kind of neat to. So Russell's asking me what I watched it on. I believe I watched it on Disney or Tubi. I'm not quite sure, but Russell, I definitely Googled it. I found it, I saw it, and then I wanted to watch it, and then I Googled it, and I found it again, and that's how I watched it. But you know what? I don't remember. It might have been Amazon Prime. I'm all over the place because I watched.
It's on Prime and Roku and Tubi right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can watch it on Prime.
I probably watched it on Prime because that's where I watch a lot of my movies, just in general. Yeah. So shot in Oregon, 1 hour and 33 minutes of gold. What was it like working with Gary? Did he pretty much just set the table and let you go with it? Or did he give you specific, in this scene we're doing, he feels sad? Or in this scene, how did he get you there?
We had sort of had because this was another thing that was like a new challenge for me, which was very cool, which was I'm in every scene of this movie. So
oh, wow.
we had to do a significant amount of planning, and also because it's a low budget movie, we're shooting many scenes in one day, many different setups in one day, and it can't stop. We can't have a delay or anything like that. So all these moving parts had to come together at the same time. And in terms of the performance, I sort of tried to work on it like as though it had an arc, with a whole bunch of different arcs, and then kind of plan it out on paper. I had an acting coach at the time, and we broke apart this entire script into several different arcs that we were going to work towards, and places we could find jokes and other levity and stuff like that, places to improv and things like that. But it's very much like creating an entire history of a person and a history of a town at the same time, and really trying to make sure that you honor the tone of every scene, because if you do several scenes in a different in a single day, you want it to come across as something completely different every time you watch it. So yeah, covering all these. Now we're like, oh, okay, so we finished shooting that. Now we're 3 days ahead. This has already happened. It's just thinking back on what came right before this scene. Where did I just get over that? We haven't shot that yet, but if you could just imagine what happened. And then kind of go, so she broke your heart, right? But she's going to do that tomorrow. It was
right.
Raining,
See, that's the thing that drives me nuts about the movie industry, because you're not shooting in order of the film. In a lot of cases, you're shooting what makes more sense, money wise.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're designing a character that's in every single scene, you have to make sure that each time a new scene comes across, it's not the same stale stuff, and it has a different take on it. You know what I mean? So it was very much to me about kind of building this architecture that we would then sort of release as we went during the 25 days that we shot this movie.
Wow, that's the shoot time on that is just phenomenal. That's crazy fast.
Yeah. It was really cool because the town that it was shot in Ashland, Oregon, that whole entire community completely came out for us. We had people lending us, houses and gear, and we had some of the best actors in the world at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which is where that it's hosted in Ashland every year. And so everybody who was involved in the project, who was playing other minor characters, were like incredible actors who would just come off stage doing something like Macbeth or Midsummer Night's Dream. So it was really like a arts and theater influenced town coming together movie in order to pull this thing off. And that was really cool with working with Gary, is like he had already been immersed in this place. He had family there and friends there. So if he needed a favor or something like that with the city, he just called and somebody came right away. I remember one day we had too much water on the field, and it was making the camera sort of like was seeing it as a shine or like a reflection. And so we had something like 25 parents and other volunteers show up and like scrape the grass to make sure that it was dry enough to shoot.
They're out there with their little rollers rolling the water off the
drying
field.
off the individual like blades of grass. It was really funny.
So did you do some of the pitching, some of the hitting?
Or... Yeah. When I was a kid, I played baseball. I played first base and pitcher. And that was like some of the best time in my life. So there was another cool thing about doing this movie is like when you're a kid playing sports anyways, and you tend to like it or think that you're pretty good at it. It's an amazing feeling. So to be able to do a movie that like sort of honors the spirit of what you were so into before was like a really cool and unique feeling to have. Like I'm demonstrating the very thing that I loved so much organically when I was a kid. So yeah, it was really fun to study the baseball and to play baseball again. I just love that so much.
Well, I think I definitely could see it coming out, especially when you were playing softball, because there you were the hero, not the brunt of the jokes. And everybody at the softball field looked up to you and the other team feared you.
Yeah, exactly. And there wasn't pressure or stress on it.
But they didn't, but your character didn't change. Your character didn't become an egomaniac. He was level.
Yeah.
He was, we're just playing. We're just having fun. We're going to win. He's going to throw it to you this way. Because I think at one point you tell Diedrich, and he's like, I'm not going to hit it. I'm not going to hit it. And you're like, dude, he's going to throw you this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to swing this. And we'll be fine. And he has that, I'm soaking it all in look on his face.
Yeah, he didn't have the confidence. That's right.
right? And then he goes out and does it, and it's like, here, this is your championship,
Mhm.
Calvin, and you're like, no, this is all of our championship. It's not mine. We're a
Yeah.
team.
That's what Gary was always telling me whenever we were shooting these scenes. He was always like, make sure that you know that this is where, he really feels like this is his home. This is where everything can be relaxed and can just be about having fun. And so, yeah, this is where he excels because there's not this insane pressure to perform. There's this instead love that comes behind just being a part of the community and playing with your friends, playing a game you all love.
So Calvin Marshall ends. He goes on his next journey. Do you think he keeps up with Michelle? Do you think they talk on the phone like on a regular basis, just like he talks? Maybe every night he's calling Diedrich. Hey, Diedrich, what's going on in your life, man?
Yeah, I think it's much more likely he maintains a friendship with Diedrich than I don't think that he keeps up with Tori Jensen after that. I think he probably tries a few times and then leaves it alone respectfully.
Right. Well, I kind of thought the big spoiler here is that her mom dies.
Mhm.
And I think Calvin was a huge part of her getting through that
Yeah.
because she didn't have anybody else.
Yeah, no, she didn't, and she had this.
But I don't think Calvin's pursuing her as a love interest anymore. She's just one of the friends.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it comes down to. Is that they have this sort of meaning in each other's lives to help them get through these difficult periods, and I think it's a beautiful thing that you can find a meaning in another person through a relationship like that.
College is hard enough without having parents passing, having coaches treating you bad,
Mm-hmm.
teammates, things like that. It's hard enough without that. And then you add those layers as like, this could have easily been a horror movie, Calvin Marshall goes mad, it could have easily gone that way, but that's not where we were going with it. We were going with the heartfelt.
That's true. Yeah, it's kind of funny when I was rewatching it. Is there's just so much of an element of like, is he a creep? Because like, he goes to ask advice from his coach, and like, how do I get with this girl? And she seems impossible to get after. I'm not sure. And his advice is like,
to stalk her.
And Kevin's like, okay, yeah, I can do that.
I think I could do that very well.
Well, it lent itself to the comedy because in reality, Calvin was somebody who was obsessed. That's one of his core traits is his obsession, specifically with sports and with sports stars and with baseball. So it kind of only seemed natural that he would be able to sort of slide that into a romantic angle as well. And it also sort of helps to wash your hands clean of the relationship that they develop and in the end anyways, that it was sort of this misguided attempt to also become obsessed with somebody else,
Right. And then we don't see what I like is he didn't just pick up somebody else. He didn't just replace her with another infatuation.
No.
His infatuation now is his new lease on life, his new direction. That's his infatuation.
That's right. Covering sports.
Right. Being the next Walter Cronkite or what have you.
What have you. Exactly.
So, got to talk about, we talked about Steve Zahn and the tobacco. Got to talk about you and the sunflower seeds in the Big League Chew.
Yeah.
Did you get the two mixed together at some point?
Oh God, yes, at least a few times, which was absolutely disgusting, almost as disgusting as the actual tobacco. But yeah, that was always a funny thing that Calvin really wanted to look like he was chewing tobacco all the time with the other guys. It was just sort of like a way to get along. But yeah, he only did sunflower seeds and Big League Chew. The other stuff was too strong.
Right. Well, and he didn't drink either, except for like one point in the movie. So he was going that more pure wholesome route. And if I try that, I might get hooked. It could be a gateway.
Yeah. Which is, it's hilarious. Like you say, he didn't drink at all. And then all of a sudden he's in a bar towards the end of the movie when he's at his lowest, and he's looking around and he's like, this could be me, first time in a bar. It's like, I already hit rock bottom.
Right. And this is where I'm going to be for the next 20 years, right here with you guys.
But, as what's funny is as I get older, I start to realize, that is a true sentiment, his concern is a legitimate thing. That is what happens to some people,
Right. Well, especially since I think he kind of had an idea that he was a fixation person in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah,
He was
exactly.
fixated on baseball, fixated on, the lore and the history. God, if
Mhm.
I put my strength toward drinking, I could be the best drinker ever.
Yeah, probably. That's exactly what it is. It's in that
Again,
head.
that's
Anything he's going to do is going to be the best at it.
right. Or in that case, the worst at it, or the best
Yeah.
is the worst, I guess. I don't know. Let's not, no, we don't need to explore that. Yeah, I thought the bit with the Big League Chew, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Big League Chew is the softball,
Mhm.
and the sunflower seeds is the baseball.
Yeah, yeah. The sunflower seeds is definitely the baseball. Want to be a little bit more serious when it came down to that. Didn't want to get caught with the gum in his mouth. It's not
Right.
cool.
I remember when Big League Chew first came out. We thought that
Yeah.
was the coolest thing ever because literally it came out in you had two different kinds. You had shredded, and then you had the brick.
Yeah.
They got rid of the brick really quickly because nobody wanted that. They wanted the
Right.
shred.
Yeah, I always had the shredded one. I love the bubblegum one, but I think they had cinnamon flavor, which was also amazing.
I don't ever remember cinnamon, but they did have a grape, but it was very hard to find. Grape flavored bubble gum in Big League Chew.
Yeah,
Yeah, good stuff. Good
that's
stuff.
so funny.
So, is there anything you remember about the movie that you want to pass along, a story or an anecdote? Or, I mean, I think one of the funniest scenes is one of the most missed scenes, and that's from the movie poster is you standing on the foul pole
Yeah,
and then you fall off. I had forgotten you were there.
yeah,
And I
that was really
and that's
difficult.
the gag. Everybody else forgot too, including the coach.
Yeah, yeah, that was one of those late nights that we were shooting that, and it was just like freezing cold, and yeah, standing up on that foul pole, and then trying to make it look very real that I fall off. It's like this sight gag that we had to do, which we just kept doing over and over because they were like, "It looks like you're just rolling by yourself. It doesn't look real at all."
Right?
It's like, "Oh no!" And I kept throwing myself down all the time just to sort of like commit to it. It was really funny. That was a really cool moment. But yeah, no. What else could I tell you about making that movie? That was so much fun. I mean, everything. The best side part, I think, was just doing it with Gary, and because this was like Gary's love script. This was his baby, and seeing him get to make it. I mean, he was also a professor of film, so it's sort of like your teacher leading by example right in front of you. And he's making this thing that he cares so much about and has invested so much in, and his wife produced it as well with him. So it was just like getting to see this real total family effort put behind this independent film. I think it was like one of the best things I could possibly have put my time into.
So I have to say he obviously played baseball.
Yeah, yeah, he did. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, and he did write it too. I'm looking at it on IMDb. He
yeah,
wrote it, directed, produced it with his wife.
yeah. And Gary is such a down to earth and genuine guy that it's hard to imagine him just or any person that is that honest and straightforward as being somebody who can really excel in Hollywood, given that Hollywood is like always about like cutting bait and doing things like as quickly as possible or for as little money as possible. So it was really cool to see like this guy who's like the hero of this story actually succeed in making this movie and have so many people come out and support it.
Right. Well, it sounds like he'd been lining it up for a while,
Yeah,
and
and getting Steve involved early too. That was such a good call, because we got all those great comedic actors. Now we even had one of the Wilson brothers on it. Not Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson, but shoot, what was his name? Andrew Wilson.
Andrew Wilson. Okay, the
Yeah,
third brother,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Andrew was really cool. That was
Andrew Wilson. Yeah, he played Ernie.
yeah, exactly.
Very interesting. Well, I appreciate you. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, but thank you so much for bringing me on your show. I really appreciate it. This was a great time.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's a passion project. I really enjoy sports. I really enjoy movies. So putting the two together just makes sense. We're going to have you on the wall here shortly
Beautiful.
and in the rafters. And you're always welcome to come back if you want to just come back and talk further. Oh, I forgot this story. I got to tell this story. Or
Yeah.
Steve called me the other day and we were yucking it up or whatever, or Gary, or out of the blue, Michelle called me and said, I think our characters did keep together. I think they
Yeah,
did.
I'll let you know as soon as they.
And I'm like, did they? But it's one of those, it is definitely a feel-good movie. I really enjoyed it. And then I started looking, I've got to see if I can get some of these folks on the channel.
Yeah, no.
And
Really
that's how we got here. And thanks to you for answering back and saying, I think this could be fun.
That's my absolute pleasure, Scott. Thank you.
So in the movie, you were a pitcher, right? Weren't you a pitcher? So what was
shortstop in the movie.
Oh, shortstop. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what was your favorite pitch? But
the favorite pitch? Oh, knuckleball, obviously.
Okay. I could never throw a knuckleball, but
it's very different.
I was second base and center field, so
oh, nice.
A little different. Different. Well, hang tight. I'll meet you back in the back room.
Sounds great.
Thanks again. Hey, this is Scott with Rafters Sports and Movies. If you just caught in with us, you want to go back to the beginning and watch the whole interview with Alex Frost, who plays Calvin Marshall in the movie Calvin Marshall. If you haven't watched the movie, released in 2009, Gary Lundgren movie. He also wrote it, starring Alex Frost, Calvin Marshall, Michelle Lombardo, Diedrich Bader, and the list goes on. Great, very, very good, heartwarming movie. Check it out. This is Scott with Rafters Sports and Movies.